Good morning, everyone. Welcome to F-150 Studios, coming at you today from an undisclosed underground location in beautiful Starbucks, California. It is Thursday, March 4th, 2021, and I wanted to mention today something that I recently accomplished, which was I sat for and passed the FCC Amateur Radio Technician Class exam. And uh, I was motivated to do this. I've had an interest in radio for some time, and in fact, when I was in college, when our college radio station went from 10 watts to 500 watts, anyone going on the air was required to have an FCC commercial broadcaster's license. Now, that license no longer exists, but I got my license then. I was in the production department, eventually ended up being production manager, but occasionally I would go on the air. So, in order to preserve that capability, I did take that commercial broadcast exam. So, amateur radio is something that's always interested me, but it's one of those kind of back burner things because so many hours in a day and other activities. But I started thinking a bit more critically about it recently in wake of basically big tech censorship and the importance of having communications that are in our own hands and not in the hands of the telcos and big tech. We saw how big tech put their thumb heavily on the scales along with the mainstream media for a particular presidential candidate during the 2020 election. And we, even to the extent of actually censoring news and deplatforming people who were reporting news that was unfavorable to their preferred candidate. And then when I posted a video on YouTube questioning how an election could be considered legitimate when you had so much vested interest throwing so much weight, and again, even suppressing inconvenient facts about a particular candidate, YouTube took that video down. So I also had I also was briefly locked out of my Twitter account for posting posting the truth about Trayvon Martin, which was that he was a violent thug who got killed because he picked the wrong victim. YouTube said this violated their terms of service, that it was glorifying violence and encouraged violence against specific people. And they quickly unlocked, not YouTube, I mean Twitter. They quickly unlocked my account when I said, what here glorifies violence and against whom am I encouraging violence? And they had no answers for those, so they unlocked my account, but told me to be careful, more careful about adhering to their terms of service, which they admitted I hadn't violated in the future. So this is something we need to address. We've seen people expressing politically incorrect opinions. They've had their DNS service terminated by whoever their internet DNS provider is. There are alternatives to that. Unstoppable Domains uses a blockchain-based DNS service, and I do have dndphoto.crypto registered to me as a blockchain DNS. But amateur radio is a pretty good way, I think, to go to keep yourselves free. You know, oh yes, also, even since I've passed this exam, AT&T now it's come out, they have been pushing the Biden administration to allow the Chinese military to come into the American telecommunications system. Why is this a good idea? But this is the same AT&T that helped the Bush administration violate the law with respect to warrantless domestic surveillance in the wake of the 9/11 attacks. And Congress rigorously rose to the defense of American civil liberties by retroactively legalizing the violations of the law, but told us not to worry because the new law made it illegal to violate the law, which it was illegal to violate the law under the old law, but then they made it legal. So it's doubly illegal now, and then the next time there'll be a double amnesty, I suppose. So this is that's it. I got through the radio license technician exam. I'll be sitting for the other two levels, the general and the expert extra, it's called. And I have a little handy talkie now. Yaesu FT3D has tremendous capabilities, a bit more expensive, quite a bit more expensive than what's normally recommended for beginners. Frequently, you'll see the Chinese Baofeng radios yeah, encouraged, and yes, for $30, they're an expensive entry point. People seem to think that generally they work okay. Of course, with anything made to an exceedingly low price, there are going to be issues of tolerances, and as the number of people who've tested them have found frequency leakages that would make them actually illegal to transmit with on FCC. But this little Yaesu also had some capabilities that I will grow into. There's a lot going on in this radio, but you don't have to learn it all at once. And it has a better receive section, which in my area probably is a good idea. And I got a good deal on it as an open box unit, so it has full warranty, but it was discounted to the full price. So I'm happy with the purchase. I replaced the stock antenna with a quarter wavelength, which 19-inch from signalstuff.com, which also run hamstudy.org, which provide free uh, licensed study materials. So nice company to support, and they make a great product. This thing can actually be coiled around so that it's for storage, so it's a lot shorter than 19 inches. Made of the same material that the unbreakable eyeglass frames like these are made of, so it can be coiled up and it'll take return to its regular straight shape. And I'm looking forward to using this, seeing what the capabilities are, and again expanding my knowledge in the field of amateur radio. But again, this is taking our destiny into our own hands as far as communications, and it's well worth doing. I think uh, even if you just want to go for the technician license, you get full privileges across a couple of bands, and then you can, uh, and that gives you quite a bit of ability to communicate right there. And then if you want to go into the more restricted bands, the general gives you full privileges on everything else. I'll probably also, Morse code is no longer required, but I will be learning Morse code, CW as it's called, and because that's also a useful tool for certain types of communications, weak signal stuff, bouncing off the moon and stuff like that. So I will be learning Morse code along the way as well. So you all have a good day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.